Today, I'm gonna share how you can stay productive and focused when working from home. I'm gonna give you a 3-rule framework that will help you stay productive and focused. This framework will also help you complete tasks easier and faster. And I truly believe that this framework is the one thing you need to double your productivity and become much more focused if you wanna get more done this year. Also, in this video, I'm gonna give you the best routine you can follow if you wanna stay more productive. I'm gonna share with you how I discovered this framework. It all happened when I got my first remote job. Before I got my first remote job, I was working as a Facebook ads media buyer. And when I got my first office job, this was the Facebook ads media buying job, I was just fresh out of university. I was dead broke and I went to a law school. So I quit my law career to become a digital marketer or Facebook ads media buyer. And the way my job worked, it was pretty much a cool job. I very much liked my job and I had to go to the office. So every day I would commute to work, I would go to my job and I was doing Facebook ads, social media advertising. And this job was extremely stressful because I had huge budgets to spend. On some days, I spent over $40,000 on ads. I had a team to manage and it was a results-oriented job. So I had to focus all my attention and all my focus, pretty much my best effort to get the results. And the company I was working for, I was delivering amazing results. So when I started working for the company, they were making like, let's say, 6 figures per month. And when I left the company 4 months later, they were making around maybe close to 7 figures per month. And it all happened because of my Facebook ad strategies. And while I was working this job, I was extremely stressed. I was making some money, but for the responsibility I had, the money wasn't enough. And I'm not somebody who can be motivated just from making money. And it was somewhere in September maybe, and I saw a post on Facebook. I have this friend of mine and she's a digital nomad, and that was back in 2018. And I know that a lot of people are doing the digital nomad stuff, but back then it wasn't that common. So it was very rare to know somebody who is working and traveling full time because COVID didn't happen and nobody knew how to actually do this. But I was sitting on my phone browsing Facebook. It was like cold Bulgarian winter. It was snowing maybe. I was like super cold, disappointed from my job. And I saw this post from my friend and she was in Sri Lanka surfing. And I was like, oh my God, this is truly amazing. I'm quite close with her. So I just text her. I'm like, how do you travel and like do all this while I'm freezing in Bulgaria? And so she was like, I'm just getting clients through this website. And she told me the website. And pretty much that was all I needed to know. Because of that, I decided to quit my office job. And quitting my office job to become a remote worker or land a work from home job was a very hard decision. Because back then, I didn't make that much money. I was employed for just 4 or 5 months. I quit 6 jobs prior to this one. And this was the first job that could make me money. And I had rent to pay. So it was like pretty hard decision to leave the office job and just go into the uncertainty of getting a work from home job, right? And back then I remember talking to my friends and they all said that I'm crazy because think about it. I just quit my law career to become a digital marketer or Facebook ads marketer. After like a lot of trial and error, I got my Facebook ads job. I was making quite decent money and then I decided to quit it to pursue something even more adventurous. And all of my friends were against it. I remember when I told my bosses that I'm quitting my job, they were quite surprised because I was the one who was delivering amazing results for the company. And pretty much it was a very controversial decision that I had to make. But this was something I truly wanted to do. I truly wanted to have the freedom to work from anywhere and I just did it. I decided to quit my job and then I started applying for remote jobs. I went on Upwork and I started applying for jobs, and pretty much it was very easy for me because I was somebody who had results and I knew Facebook ads very well. And back then, even today, Facebook ads were very sexy skill to have, right? So long story short, I went on Upwork, I applied to 5 jobs, and pretty much I got 2 offers. And it was very easy for me to land a job because I'm a very good copywriter. I know how to persuade people and I know how to land a job, and I truly believe this is a very important skill for anybody to acquire. So I got my first job, first remote job. It was for a guy who was selling online courses. The guy was based in Los Angeles. I was based in Sofia, Bulgaria. So we had to communicate through Basecamp. I was extremely happy to land this job because for first time in my life, I could work from Starbucks. And for me, it was just amazing. I felt so happy. I felt so free just going to Starbucks, getting myself a latte and working from there. And also this job made decent money, but I couldn't go to Starbucks every day. On some days I had to stay at home and work from home. And the biggest challenge I had was to actually focus on the tasks I had to complete and be productive and focused. Because when I'm working from home, even today, sometimes I struggle with my focus and productivity. I'm gonna do stupid things such as watching YouTube videos, browsing Instagram, talking on the phone, and it was extremely hard for me to focus. But during the years, I came up with 3 rules that will help you stay productive. I follow these rules even today, and I'm getting stuff done quite easily. And in this video, I'm gonna give you the 3-step framework I discovered for staying focused and being super productive. And ever since then, I tried a lot of task management tools, to-do tools. I tried brain pills such as ashwagandha and ginseng. I tried going to accountability groups, but nothing works better than this 3-step framework, and I'm gonna give it to you in this video. So the first thing that you need to do, that will be rule number 1 if you want to stay productive and focused if you're working from home, would be to set your environment for work. And the first thing that you need to do here would be to have a room area. That could be a room, that could be a desk, that could be a space. For me, my space is right here. If I want to record a video, I can just grab my mic, turn on my camera, start recording. If I want to do a deep work, write a script, or set up a Facebook ads campaign, I can easily switch my desk around and just like start working from here. So having a desk room or a space where you just sit to work is essential. If you work from home, if you have a small space, you need to come up with like your own area that is set up for work. And a very important thing for you would be to keep this area, even your home apartment, your home house, your whole house completely organized. I'm not sure if you can see from this video, but I like to keep my space extremely minimalistic and clean. For example, I have some books to the right, I have my monitor, I have my laptop, I have my microphone. If you can look back, I don't have a bunch of stuff. This is how I like it. This is what works for me. And I'm gonna say that having an area that is extremely clean, organized is very essential to your productivity, because if you have a clean room, you're gonna have a clean brain, and it will be much easier for you to actually sit down and be focused and be productive. And this is some of the things that you need to keep in mind. If we talk about working from home, and if we talk about working area, your computer itself is a working area. So you should keep your computer, your phone extremely organized and clean. If you have old files, make sure you remove them. Let's say applications or games that are not related to work on your computer, make sure you get rid of them. We are talking about digital minimalism here. I try to keep it as clean and as simple as possible. If you go to my laptop, if I open my laptop and show you, I don't have pretty much anything on my laptop but work-related applications. Even my browser, where I do most of my work, is extremely clean and productive. And this is very important. So number 1, keep your physical area clean and organized. Keep your digital area clean and organized. If you don't use something, just get rid of it. A very good book you can read about organizing your space is, I think, Marie Kondo, Does It Spark Joy? So basically, if you have an item that doesn't spark joy, you just get rid of it. If you have an application on your phone, on your computer, something that doesn't spark joy, something you don't use, something that distracts you, you just get rid of it. The second thing that you need to focus on would be to remove the distraction. And here also, like, there are two sides to the coin. The first side would be your physical space. Your physical space, the working physical space, the less distraction you have, it would be much easier. So if you have the TV working, or if you have the radio working, or if you have Netflix on the background, it won't work. So your working area should be extremely clean from distractions. And here I'm gonna talk about the digital space much more, because I know that a lot of people, when they start working, they distract themselves with their phones. So I'm gonna give you some tips and tricks. I'm gonna say that when you use your computer, I'm gonna say mute all of your social media, mute all of your social media profiles. You can use a Google Chrome extension called Newsfeed Eradicator. The Newsfeed Eradicator will mute the Facebook feed, the Instagram feed, the Twitter feed, the Reddit feed. So pretty much you'll be able to mute all of those destructive social media profiles. When it comes to your phone, you spend a lot of time on your phone. When it comes to your phone, I would suggest you delete all of your social media profiles. I know it's gonna be very hard for you to do so. I know that you're gonna feel like you're completely disconnected, but the way I do it, I remove all of my social media profiles and I keep one communication channel for all my family and friends. And this communication channel for me is Facebook Messenger. For you, that could be WhatsApp, that could be Apple Messages, or like just simple messaging, or like simple phone conversations. And pretty much all of my friends know that if they want to talk to me, they can hit me up on Facebook Messenger. I don't suggest that you use your Instagram for your main communication channel, because you can text people, you can DM people there, but you can also like watch Instagram reels, watch stories, browse the feed. So this is not ideal. Use a communication channel that is less destructive and that only has the ability to send messages if possible. Also, another thing you could do, if you use your social media for work, I would suggest you unfollow everybody you don't know personally and mute everything that is destructive. So if you have a Instagram feed, don't follow people who you don't know. I know it sounds stupid, but if you want to be productive, you need to make that sacrifice. What I do to keep myself productive while I'm working, I might keep my phone in the other room or just like place it in my backpack. That way I'm not destructive. So this was rule number one if you want to set up your environment for work. Number one, have your working area set up. Here I mean physical and digital. And number two, remove the distractions. And here again I mean physical distractions and digital distractions. Now let's assume that you set your environment for work. And here we come to rule number two. And rule number two, if you want to stay productive and focused, is do the hard things first. And here I'm just gonna talk about deep work. You have deep work and shallow work. Deep work refers to focus, uninterrupted and distracted work or study. It's when you concentrate on a challenging task without any distractions, allowing you to provide high quality work more efficiently. And if you have a task that requires a lot of your attention, I suggest you do it first thing in the morning. So you need to identify the tasks that require the most out of your brain. So know those tasks first thing in the morning, just wake up and do them. Another thing I do here, I break my day into working blocks. At the very early morning when I start working, I do the block for the hardest things. Then I have another block for like focusing on deep work. I might do 2 or 3 blocks on deep work. Usually deep work for me would be like writing scripts for YouTube videos. And when I talk about hardest things, that would be things related to outreaching new clients. So those are the hardest things for me. And deep work, I usually consider writing, scripting, sending like email broadcasts, things like this, or even like building a Facebook ads campaign is deep work. Then I have working block for communication. Communication is shallow work. If I have to send an email back or if I have to send a message on Slack or Basecamp, usually those tasks don't require my full focus and I do them later in the day. Or this is how my brain works. This is where I'm most productive and I wanna use my mental energy and focus to complete the hardest things first. And I use this one technique that allows me to keep myself productive and accountable. It's called the Pomodoro technique. What I do, I break down my work blocks into intervals into 25 minutes in length. So I start my timer for 25 minutes and during those 25 minutes I do nothing but the task. I'm able to complete 4 to 6 working blocks, and usually those 6 working blocks are when I complete the most work. So think about it. Structure your day, do the hardest things first in the morning, then you do the deep work, then you do the communication and the shallow work. And in order to be extremely focused and productive, use the Pomodoro technique to track your working blocks. It works very well for me. I know it sounds easy, but it's actually quite hard because the Pomodoro timer will just help you stay focused. I'm not sure if you've done like CrossFit or if you've done some of those interval trainings. So when you do CrossFit, you have a minute to complete the exercise, let's say a minute. And during that minute, you just go hard and then you take a rest. It's the same with deep work. You start the Pomodoro timer, 25 minutes, you go hard on the task. Then after the task is done, you can just relax, have a coffee, drink some water and just chill. And this is very, very good. If you could take one advice from this video, that would be it. Use the Pomodoro technique to complete your working blocks. And I promise you, you'll get a lot done. Now, you know the importance and you know how to complete the hardest things first. And this brings me to rule number 3 if you wanna stay more productive and focused. And this will be maintain extremely good health. Recently, I bought one of those fitness trackers that helps me track my stress levels, my sleep, how many calories I burn. And while I was wearing that gadget, I have the Garmin watch in case you wonder, I managed to see the things that made me much more productive and focused. And the number one thing on the list I had was my sleep. I noticed that if I have a very good sleep on the night before, the next day I was very focused. And how do you have a good sleep? It's actually quite simple. I noticed that even if I have a glass of wine or a beer, my sleep quality decreased. So I started avoiding alcohol. Another very, very big thing that was in my way of getting a good sleep was getting too tired, because on some days I would wake up early, I would work hard, then I would go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I would completely waste my energy, and when I'm going to bed, I'm so tired that no matter how much I sleep, I cannot get enough sleep to recover. If you want to get a good sleep, don't get to bed too tired. It is like super, super essential to your sleep. Also, junk food is one of the things that messes my sleep. And for me to be healthy and productive, I need to get at least 8 hours of sleep. I know that a lot of people say I thrive on 5 hours per day, but this is just not me. I can do like 5 hours of sleep for like a few days, a week, but then I'll just be extremely tired and grumpy. Another thing I do to maintain good health would be diet. Here, this is not a weight loss channel, but obviously just the fundamentals. You can eat in calorie deficit, you can eat in calorie surplus, but no matter what you do, make sure you get like veggies, make sure you get plenty of water. You might try supplements, and at all costs avoid junk food. Junk food is very bad for your mood, it's very bad for your sleep, so at all costs avoid junk food. Here also, if you want to maintain a good health, I suggest you exercise. What exercise should you do? I suggest you stay away from exercises that drain you completely. If you have like a very hardcore cardio session, I suggest you complete just 1 or 2 hardcore cardio sessions, but for most of your workouts, I suggest you do it on an average or maybe slightly moderate, let's say, tempo, if that makes sense. But don't drain yourself completely, because that will affect your sleep. And I'm gonna give you the example of how I exercise. I go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 3 to 4 times per week, and pretty much every day I try to complete 10,000 steps. When I go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I might go hard just 1 or 2 sessions because this completely drains my energy and I cannot get enough sleep afterwards. And here the last thing I have on my list would be keep the stress levels as low as possible. This is something I'm struggling with myself because I have a lot on my plate. I have the Facebook ads and YouTube ads agency. I have the YouTube channel. I also have my personal life, my training, and on some days I'm just extremely stressed out. As I said, I measure my stress with my Garmin watch. I think it's pretty accurate. Some of the things that help me reduce my stress are exercise, walking, eating a good healthy diet also helps, and in my head I try to reframe the activities that stress me out the most. I try to see the benefit of each activity. So I'm gonna give you a simple example. Some of my clients messaged me the other day and they said, why are we spend so much money on ads, but we also generated quite a lot of money. And I told them that we had the best month yet. The client was very happy. At first I was stressed, I didn't know what to do, but the good thing about this experience is that I improved my communication skills and I saw how I could reframe messages from clients. I'm not sure if this will make sense to you. Just focus on the positive. I think focusing on the positive will always help you reduce the stress, and at the very end of the day I know that all stressful situations in my life happen for me to grow and become better. Now you know the importance of maintaining a good health. To sum up this video, I'm gonna give you the 3 main rules that you need to follow if you wanna stay super productive and focused when working from home. Rule number 1, set your environment for work. Rule number 2, do the hard things first. And rule number 3, make sure you maintain extremely good health. My name is Niko. In this channel, I talk about everything and anything related to business, marketing, and wealth. Please check the links in the description below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you soon.